Hi, I'm Carly Bell, and welcome to my craft room. Today, I'm so excited because I'm finally diving into the world of sublimation. I have been wanting a sublimation printer for a couple years now, and I've been researching either buying a traditional inkjet printer and converting it to a sublimation printer, or buying a dedicated sublimation printer. And because I wasn't too sure on how much I was going to use this particular item, I decided to go with the least expensive option. And that was to purchase a traditional inkjet printer and convert it to sublimation using sublimation ink. So today I'm going to show you just the unboxing of the printer and the basic steps on how to set it up. It should be very straightforward from my understanding. There's no need for syringes or special cartridges. The ink that I got is supposed to fit nicely into this printer, so I'm super excited to get started. So the printer I decided to get is the Epson Ecotank 2760. These are a really hard to find printer right now. But they come in multiple models. And from my understanding, now I'm not an expert on this, but there are lots of different models that are compatible with the ink that I got that is supposed to be very simple to just not use the ink that comes with the printer and use the sublimation ink instead. And so the model I got is the 2760. I was lucky enough to find this at Costco, and it ran about $250. There is a less expensive model, the 2720, which has been hard to find, but I recently did see it on Target. So I'm going to put a link to that down in the description below. So hopefully you can find it. If not, check places like Walmart, Office Depot, and Amazon sometimes have some, but not often. But with the models, the higher the numbers go up, the more expensive the printer gets. But if you're using the printer for sublimation, all the features that come with the more expensive models really doesn't matter too much. There are nicer options like a paper feed on top, or maybe a scanner, or different types of things that are nice for an office or business printer. But if we're using this for sublimation, I personally don't think any of those features are worth spending an extra $100 for. So if you can get the 2720, it's usually around $200. The 2760 runs $250 to $300, and then they have a, I think it's a 3760 and a 4760. All of those are going to be more expensive because they have more features. What is really cool about the Epson Ecotank printers, and whether you're just getting a household inkjet printer or you want to convert it to sublimation, what's really nice is that there's no cartridges involved. Instead, there are refillable tanks for the ink, and there are special bottles that have nozzles that are very specific. And those nozzles, and you'll see later in the video when we unbox this, those nozzles fit perfectly into each of the tanks so that you can take the bottle, turn it upside down, no ink will come out, but once you press it into that nozzle, it allows the ink to flow out and go into the tank. So this is supposed to be mess-free. However, I'm still going to put a tablecloth on my craft table here just in case, and use some gloves, because if it does get on your fingers, I don't want to be touching, things or get it stained on my fingers. So wear gloves, put a tablecloth down just in case, but this should be the least messiest option for converting a sublimation printer. So the last thing I want to go over before we open the box is the ink. So I'm using Cosmos ink, and they make the bottles with the specific nozzles that fit perfectly into several different Epson models. So I'm going to put a link for these down below, and when you go and look at it, it'll list all the models that these bottles are compatible with. So this is what I'm using today, and it's really nicely packaged, and it comes with a large black ink, and then you have your 3 colors. So, and they're all sealed nicely so they won't leak, and I'm excited that I don't have to have a messy problem because the nozzles will fit into the printer perfectly. Some of the other supplies that I got but we're not ready for yet, but I just wanted to go ahead and show you, is I got some heat resistant tape. I got this from Amazon, and I'll put a link for that down below. And this was the Sublimation paper that came highly recommended from several people. This is a sub 125 gram, and the printer that I got can print a normal 8.5 by 11 sheet. It can also do a legal sheet if you need something a little bit longer. So these are the 8.5 by 11, and I'll have a link for this down below. It's from Amazon. Okay, so let's get started with unboxing the printer. Okay, so here's everything that came in the box. The printer, I just took a plastic cover off of it. It came with a lot of ink, 2 bottles of black, the 3 colors. Now these inks we will not be using, but as we're doing this, I'm highly thinking about if I can get the 2720. I might buy that for my house, for my kids, for their school papers and such, because not only will I have the ink that comes with that one, but I'll have these as well. So if these bottles will be compatible with that, I might buy another printer for regular household use. So maybe don't throw these away, but don't use them with what we're doing today. Power cord, important, and then a manual. All right, so all I'm gonna do now is just pull off all the little pieces of blue tape. Simple. Okay, so I put my pink tablecloth down, of course, with the house with 2 little girls. All of my extra birthday party supplies are pink. So we have pink little disposable tablecloth. And I got some gloves. And I went ahead and looked at the instructions for the printer just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything or messing anything up. So it's saying to unpack, remove all the blue tape. It also tells you don't forget to remove the blue tape. You'll see it kind of on the outside here, and it goes down into the where the belt is that moves across. So just make sure you remove that one. And that's it. And then the next step is to put the ink. So I am going to get my Cosmos ink out. Remember, we're not using the ink that came with the printer. And cut that open and pull it out. So here's the bottle. Okay, so the tops are a little hard to get off. Hold the bottom and try and hold it tight and unscrew the top. It's still really hard. There we go. So I had to screw the bottom tight. So there's 2 screw tops. One is for the top with the nozzle. Then this screws off as well. And there's our seal, which we need to cut a hole in. Okay, I got a paper towel, and I have this little X-Acto knife. I'm gonna try that to cut out the hole. Let me go ahead and put my gloves on, which are entirely too big for me. But it's all we have in our house. Okay, so top off, top off. Now I'm going to cut something like the size of a dime, maybe. All right, so I'm just going to push that in. I couldn't get the little circle I cut to come out. So now I have a hole and the top, and I'm going to put this back. All right, and now we will lift this up, and if you pull it all the way up, it'll snap and stay in place. And then we lift this up and open up. Make sure you're putting the right color in the right container or tank, you know. And we're lift this blue flap up, and now we can see right into the area where the nozzle is going to fit. So I'm going to turn the printer so I can see a little better. And they have these 2 plastic tabs here, and so it's going to go like this. Yeah, it's a little scary to do this, but we're just going to do that and push down. And now I could hear it draining and I can see it filling up. So I'll turn it so you can see. So you could just see the black coming up here. So we're just going to wait and let that fill up. Okay, so the tank you can leave the bottle upside down and it will automatically stop filling as it is full. So all I have to do is lift the bottle up. No mess. I love it. Love it. And I'm going to screw this back on top. This seems to be empty, so it looks like it filled it up perfectly. And from my understanding, the black tank is, as you can see through the viewfinder, is bigger than the colored tanks. So I'm going to go ahead and close that and now repeat this process with all the other colors. All right, so we are all done with loading the ink. That was super easy, not messy at all. I did use my paper towel, got a little bit ink on my gloves. I cleaned my little X-Acto blade. Really, really easy and straightforward. So now I'm just going to close this up and hook up the power cord and plug it in, and then we'll go over the next steps. Okay. So I have it plugged in, and I like how this display, you can like pull it forward to make it a little easier to see. But I am going to go ahead and change the view now so you can see an up close view of the control panel. So I hope you can see this okay, but the first thing I'm going to do is just turn the printer on. And the screen is very small, so I'm sorry if you can't see it, but all it is asking now is what language I would like to use, and English is already selected, so I'm going to hit OK. And now it says preparing. Okay, so it is stopped saying initializing, and now it says see the start here sheet to complete initiation, and that is this paper here that came with it. And what I think is supposed to happen next is we are supposed to charge the ink. So let me double check on my paper here. And yes, so after we pick our language, the next thing is charging the ink. And what we do is we hold down this question mark button for 3 seconds, and then we will see the screen change. Okay, it says start initialization, confirm that the tanks are filled with ink, and you can hit OK to learn how to fill the tank with inks, or you can hit start, and we are going to hit start, which is this button here. All right, do not turn the power off until initialization is complete. This task takes about 10 minutes. Okay, so the initialization is complete, and it says click OK to be done. Okay, so now it's asking if we want to align the printer to get the best print quality. So I'm going to go ahead and hit adjust, and let's get that done. So it says OK to proceed. Perform a print head nozzle check to check print quality. So we need to print, and in order to print we need to load paper into the back of the printer. In order to load paper, you would lift up this back flap here, and there is a gray piece that you could pull out and lean back. Now for the test print, so I'm assuming that we can use regular copy paper to do these test prints and not use the sublimation paper. So I'm going to try that out and we'll see how it works. So okay, I see they have some blue bars here which we need to stretch out in order for our paper to fit. And I'm going to put that there. Let me put a few sheets in case the test sheet is more than one. And I am going to hit OK. And it says perform a print head nozzle check, and I'm going to hit OK. Load paper, and then we're going to hit this start button to print. And I think we can pull this out. Okay, are there any things missing? Segments. So this is a normal, I don't know if you could see this, the printer, my fan is blowing everything. The normal printer sheet, and you look at these lines here and see if any are missing. So I am looking and I see one little spot in the magenta section. So it says, are there missing segments? So I'm gonna hit OK for yes. And do you want a clean print head? And I'm gonna hit yes. Clean print head to correct missing ink. And then we're gonna hit start. So this cleaning takes about 3 minutes. Okay, so it just finished the second nozzle cleaning. So we can do the next adjustment. So we hit OK to proceed, and align print position to fix misalignment and banding. So we can hit adjust and hit OK. So load the paper and hit print. Okay, so now it's telling me to look at the printout and choose boxes with the least lines. On the next screen, select the number. So I will show y'all my printout so that you can see what it looks like. So here is my printout, and if we look closely, we can see lines in the boxes. So I'm going to guess for each one, like for number 1, it's going to ask me which one looks the best. So I say 3 for that one. For number 2, I would say number 7 looks the best, and so on. So you just go down each one and we'll now tell the printer which boxes look the best. All right, so I'm going to hit OK to proceed. And then for number 1, number 3, and 3 is already there, so we hit OK. Number 2, it has 4 selected, but I say 7's the best, so I'm going to use the arrow up button until I get to number 7, and then hit OK. For the third row, line number 7 also looks the best, so I'm going to move that to number 7 and hit OK. For row number 4, also 7 is the best. OK. Row number 5, again 7. So everyone's printer might be different, so if yours is different than mine, do not freak out. Just go with what looks the best. And the rest, all of mine is 7, so OK. OK. So now it says load paper. Let me get some more sheets of paper here. And we're going to rear paper feed. And then I'm going to hit OK. It's saying confirm that I'm using letter plain paper. I'm going to hit OK. So it says load paper to start printing, and then I hit print. I don't know what it's printing now though. Okay, now we have a new sheet, which I will show you. But it's asking us choose rectangles that are not separated or overlapped. So this is what my paper looks like, and if you look up close, you could see where those 2 rectangles are overlapped in the middle. And as you go down, you don't see any overlap. So again, I think 7 is the best choice for my printer. So it says OK to proceed, and then choose the number that looks the best. And I think 7 looks the best, so I'm going to arrow up until the little orange box says 7 and hit OK to be done. Print head alignment complete. You can adjust again from maintenance. So if we ever want to adjust this again, we would just go to the maintenance screen and we click OK to be done. And now our printer is all ready to go. So now that we have added the ink and gone through all of the adjustment steps for setting up the printer, now we will install the driver on your computer, and I will set up the wireless connection. So I have now installed the drivers for the printer on my computer, and I tried to set it up to my wireless network. I did not have very much luck, so I went ahead and used a printer cable cord that I already had in my house. So if you also have trouble with setting it up and connecting it to your wireless network within your home, this is a good option to try if that doesn't work for you. So I was lucky I had that cord already in my house because it does not come with the printer. So to download the driver is very simple. You just go to Epson.com. They have a search. You search in the model number of the printer, whether you have the 2720, 2760, or so on. Type in your printer, and then it will come up, and you hit support, and they'll have a download section, and it will automatically detect what kind of computer and operating system that you have. So it's very simple and straightforward. Download it, install it, just go through the prompts, and that is it. So I have done all that, and I just wanted to go over a couple more things with you before we end, because there's going to be another video that you're going to want to watch on. We're going to start actually making some stuff. So a couple things I wanted to tell you. We talked about the paper, the A-sub paper. So on one side of the paper, you can see the words A-sub on it, and the other side is flat. That's the side you're going to want, the blank side you want to load face up into the printer, and that's how it's going to print. So this is always the top section of your paper. What else I wanted to tell you? Oh, for the quality of the print. So when you go to your print settings, and we'll go over this again in the next video, but just to tell you about it, the only things you really need to do is change the print setting. So instead of you telling it you're printing on plain paper, you'll tell your computer and your printer that you're printing on premium presentation matte is the setting for the paper, and that's going to allow more ink to be printed onto the paper so that you have a better quality transfer. Then lastly, you want to make sure you print your images mirror image so that when it goes on the item, then it will be in the right direction and orientation. So premium presentation matte and mirror image before you print. So that's all we're going to cover for today. We set up the printer, we installed the ink, we got everything ready to go. So I'm going to have at the end of this video our live sip and stitch tutorial, which came out on Friday, May 28th of 2021. So I'm filming this before, but this video will come out after. But for our sip and stitch, we are going to print some things, and I'm going to show you the kinds of things that I do print and how I'm going to incorporate this into my embroidery work. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope we'll have a good crew for our live demonstration, but if you're watching this after, you can always watch the replay, and I'll have it linked at the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed today's unboxing of the Epson 2760. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. If you would like to see more tutorials with sublimation and projects that have both sublimation and embroidery, let me know if you like this kind of stuff. So I'm really excited about it. I have a lot of ideas of things that I want to do. So, but in the meantime, if you want to chat more and talk about crafting with either sublimation or embroidery, please come join us in my Facebook group, which I will have linked down below. So I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.